Hello, my beautiful people. Welcome in. Welcome to the live stream. This is the Dream Clairvoyant. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you all are having a wonderful week. Yes, the screen is intentionally blacked out. I do it this way just so that you will hear my voice and listen to this very enlightening and powerful message that many of you in the collective need to hear. So, as you can see from the title, what I said is there is chaos in your surroundings. Therefore, this blessing cannot come in. Okay. We talk about many times you'll hear people say the devil can't block your blessings. The devil can't block your blessings, or the enemy can't block your blessings, which is true. It's very true because our blessings lies in the hands of God. So no one can go near it. No one can block it. It lies in the hands of God. But one of the ways that the devil can indirectly, okay, one of the ways that the devil can indirectly block your blessing, as in he doesn't have the power to go near your blessing. He doesn't have the power to take away your blessing. He doesn't have the power to attack your blessing directly. But there is a way that the devil can block your blessings indirectly. And I'm going to tell you guys how he does this so that when it's happening to you, you will know what's happening around you and how to get away from it. So, you know how on the channel, I've said it so many times that certain blessings will not come into your life until you create a safe space for it. Okay? Because if you're not in a safe space and the blessing comes in, the enemy will sabotage you. It's almost like a mother carrying a child. Before a woman gives birth to a baby, she will get the house ready. She will prepare the nursery beforehand, before the baby gets delivered. Okay? And so that's what many of you are being called to do. You have been carrying this baby, right? I'm using the word baby, I guess, figuratively. You're carrying a baby. You've been carrying an idea. You've been carrying a dream. You've been carrying a goal. You've been carrying an idea, and you want to give birth to it, right? God has given you the blessing to give birth to this big dream of yours, but you haven't created a safe space for it. Okay. And so this delivery of the baby isn't going to happen. This delivery of the blessing isn't going to happen. I'm going to give you guys another example. Some of you are not in good environments, whether physically or spiritually. Okay, there's a lot of turmoil around you that you may be seeing. And for others of you, you're not seeing it because it's being kept behind closed doors. Like in the movies, in those war movies, right, where you see the soldiers on the battleground and they're shooting and there's explosions and there's bombs going off. Soldiers don't sleep on the battleground. They go to the battleground to fight. Okay? They go to the battleground to fight, but they don't sleep on the battleground. Many of you are living on the battleground. You're living on the battleground, which is why everything seems so blocked. You're having a hard time getting forward movement. You're having a hard time progressing. Everything feels blocked off because this blessing cannot enter, right? Cannot enter your life if you are in an unsafe environment that lacks security and stability, whether physically or spiritually. So some of you, the blessing isn't coming in really because of the environment, the surrounding that you are in. Okay. And so imagine, I want you guys to visualize this, right? Imagine like in those war movies where you see the soldiers are on the battleground and they're fighting and there's bombs and explosions going on. Because you're a soldier. Many of you, you are a warrior of God. You've been on this battleground. And you're so used to fighting. You're so used to fighting. But here's the thing. You can't live on this battleground. You can't. You can't build a home on the battleground. Your home needs to be elsewhere. And then when you want to fight, you go to the battleground. Okay, so imagine you're on the battleground, you're a soldier, you're a warrior, you're fighting, and then you see this blessing about to be dropped off, and you're like, oh my gosh, no, 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 not now, not now. It's not a good timing. Nobody wants their blessing to come to them while they're on the battleground. Does that make sense, you guys? Imagine you're fighting a war, and then someone tries to deliver something very valuable to you. You would be like, no, like not now, not now. Right now is not a good time. You know what I'm saying? You're on the battleground. What I'm trying to say is you don't want to receive a blessing while you're on the battleground. Okay? Blessings are valuable things. You don't want to receive a blessing while people are aiming at you, shooting at you, targeting you, harassing you, plotting on you. It's like a baby. You don't want to give birth to a baby in an environment that is unsafe, because then you will really have to protect that baby, right? So that's what's happening in the spiritual realm, where when the devil, because the devil can't block your blessings directly, he will always cause conflict and chaos in your environment to cause it to be an unsafe environment, an unsafe surrounding, so that the blessing doesn't get delivered. Is this making sense, you guys? Please let me know. If it's not, I'll elaborate. Okay? And so many of you who are warriors of God, yes, you have great perseverance. Yes, you have great endurance. You're strong. You can fight battles repeatedly and not get tired. But here's the thing. You don't want to live on site. You don't want to live on the battleground itself. You want your home to be far away from the battleground, so that when you're done fighting, you can go home and lay down and rest and rejuvenate yourself for the next battle. Some of you are living in areas where there is intense spiritual warfare and that you're not able to physically see. Some of you are living in communities and neighborhoods full of witches and warlocks, constantly attacking the community, but you can't physically see it. Some of you are living in environments, in neighborhoods and communities that looks very nice. It might even be very, upper class, affluent, but you might have neighbors who are doing corrupt things behind closed doors. Yeah. That is how the devil can block blessings indirectly. He'll cause so much turmoil around you, so that this blessing won't be able to be delivered to you. And you don't want it to be delivered when you are in the middle of an attack. Okay? Another way, and this just connects to the first way, how the devil will cause conflict around you so that the blessing can't be delivered to you. Some of you are connected to people, places, and things that come with a lot of drama, but you're being dragged in it. You ever heard of that saying, what is it? Wrong place, wrong timing? You got caught up in something that isn't even your drama. It's not even your battle. But because you are connected to this person, place, or thing, you're being dragged in the battle. And so if there's any blessing that's trying to come into your life, if there's any blessing that's trying to flow into your life, it's on hold for now, because you're not in a safe surrounding. You don't have good people around you. Some of you could even be connected to people who are trying to block you. They know that you have something coming in for you that will clash with something that they are doing behind closed doors. Let me say that again. Some of you are connected to people who are so deceitful that they don't want you to get big opportunities because it would clash with something that they're doing behind closed doors. I'm going to give you an example. I did a reading for someone not too long ago. This person has gotten a job with an institution, and each time that institution or company would reach out to them, they had a relative who would try to disrupt communication. The relative was very, very afraid of an institution stepping in and possibly catching them and some sort of corruption that they were doing behind closed doors. So I'm going to give you an example, okay? Let's say you and me, we live in the same house. And I'm going to make myself the villain, okay? Because it's always fun. Let's say you and I, we live in the same house, and you're trying to get a new job, and you're trying to work for the government, right? But I'm doing criminal things behind closed doors, right? And you're trying to work for the government. And let's say the government sends an official person, to talk to you about this dream job of yours that you've received. I'm going to try to block it. I'm going to try to block that communications because I don't want a government person coming to our home, knowing that I'm doing something criminal behind closed doors. Is that a good example? Does that make sense? Some of you are connected to deceitful people who don't want you to get some big opportunities because it'll put them at risk of getting caught for something that they're doing behind closed doors. Is this making sense? Yes or no? So that is what you call false partnerships. And we've seen it before in the channel where I've told you guys that the devil loves to put people in false partnerships. Okay, some of you are connected to a false person, place, or thing. And because of your ties, to this false person, place, or thing, your very own blessings aren't being able to come in. It's like if you're partnered up with a criminal, and you're trying to, you have these big career goals, and you're partnered up with someone who has a criminal record, yeah, they're definitely not going to want you to be in the spotlight because that spotlight may get on them and they get exposed. I'm telling you now, I see it spiritually. Some of you are in environments and connected to certain people who are very afraid of getting caught for something. So each time you are supposed to be receiving some sort of news or communication or visitation, they are making sure to block it because they're thinking that they're going to get caught for something else. I'm so serious. That's what I'm seeing. Excuse me. So being in a false partnership is really bad because a partnership takes only two people, right? And so if you're connected to a false person, place, or thing, that false person, place, or thing is taking the position of the real person, place, or thing that you're supposed to be connected to. It's like you can't receive the new until you get rid of the old. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is some of you are connected to false people, places, and things that you need to separate from because they're taking up space. They're taking up space. And so the new person, place, or thing will not be able to come in because there's no space for them. You have to get rid of the old to get the new. Okay. Some of you could be in a situation where you see the truth about a person, place, or thing that you are connected to, and you're trying to separate yourself, but you're stuck. You're trying to separate yourself from this false person, place, or thing, but you're bound in some way, shape, or form. You have commitments, you have obligations, you can't just get up and go. This is where you really need to have faith in the Lord to step in on your behalf and break you free of what seems to be the impossible. I have witnessed, I have experienced it myself. For those of you, and I've been saying this for a few times now here on the channel, some of you, you see the truth about a person, place, or thing that you're connected to, and it's causing a disturbance in your life. This person, place, or thing and their affiliations and what they're doing, it's causing problems for you, right? You're being dragged into it. And you want to get up, you want to leave. But you're like, Dream, I'm bound. I have commitments. Maybe you signed documents. Maybe, you signed a contract that you can't just get up and leave, right? Separate. Y'all, I have seen God break people out of contracts. He has done it for me, and I've seen him do it for others. There's no contracts that God cannot terminate and void for you. Some of you could be in situations where you're waiting, okay, where you're waiting for something to come in, but there is a delay. Some of you are, I see a person who's connected to a place or a thing, and you need some sort of document. You're waiting for some sort of news, document, or paperwork, and it's almost like that's your golden ticket to get out of where you're at, or where you're connected to. But there's been this long waiting period. There's been delays. You've been waiting on this golden ticket to arrive. You've been waiting on this document or paperwork to arrive. I see some of you guys' circumstances very clearly. And so until you receive this golden ticket, until you receive this document, this paperwork, I don't know if it's something with the government or what, but I see you kind of tied to a place or a thing, and you need some sort of paperwork to get you out of where you're connected to, where you feel so bound. But there's been delays. Okay. And so it's almost like you're stuck there. Some of you are connected to people. Some of you are in really bad partnerships. Okay. I see some of you could even be in really bad business partnerships where someone who you partnered up with comes with so much drama, and now it's affecting you. Okay, it's affecting you, it's affecting your business, it's affecting your finances, but you signed a contract that connects you to this person. And then I see another circumstance where some of you are connected to a person, okay, who may not be a bad person, but they are connected to bad people, and they are in conflict with bad people. But because you are connected to them, these bad people are also after you. Okay, I'm going to say it again because I want you guys to really understand this. Some of you are connected to bad people, bad affiliations, not because of what you did, but because of who you're connected to. So I'm going to use me as an example, right? Let's say you have partnered up with me, but I have other partnerships with other people separate from you. I have partnerships with other people and other affiliations that are bad, but they are after you. My bad affiliations, okay, they are after you because you are connected to me. So you're being dragged in it. You see? And so until I get it together and free myself of this conflict with these bad affiliations, you're pretty much going to suffer along with me because you are my partner. So if you're in that sort of situation where you're being dragged into another person's mess with other people because of your ties to them, you will have to stand in the gap and pray for them. Pray for their conflict and chaos to cease, because if it ceases, it will cease for you too. So it's almost like you have to help them with their problem, because their problem is affecting you. So you have to pray for them. Pray for them, stand in the gap for them so that their problem will resolve and stop affecting you. Many of you, That's what's happening here. The problem isn't connected to you directly, but it's connected to the people, places, and things that you are connected to. So you're being dragged in it, and it's blocking you. It's causing a lot of turmoil around you that is blocking these blessings from coming into your life, flowing into your life. But isn't that what the devil does? Right? I say all the time on the channel how when the devil can't get to you directly, what does he do? He'll go to those who are close to you to get to you. So the devil can't cause turmoil in your very own life. So he's causing turmoil in the people around you's life because it will affect you. It's like, okay, I can't get to that child of God. I can't cause turmoil in that child of God's life, but I'm going to cause turmoil in these people who are around this child of God. I'm going to cause turmoil in their life because they are close to this child of God, so it'll affect this child of God. And then for some of you, like I literally just feel like that's what it is. You're connected to a person, place, or thing that comes with turmoil. And so it's putting you in a bad environment, in a bad surrounding. It has created an unsafe surrounding for you so that this blessing cannot come in. And so there are two things that you can do. Separate yourself from the conflict. And many of you, you want to do that, but you're restricted. You're restricted. And then for others of you, there's two solutions, right? You separate from it or you help fight it, right? You help fight this person's battle that you're being dragged into. You either separate yourself from it or you jump into this person's battle, right? And try to resolve it for them so that there will be peace for everyone involved, right? It's almost like you're tied to someone who's in a fight. So because you're tied to them, their fight is affecting you. So now you have to go and fight for them, step into their fight, defeat their enemies so that you will get some peace. Does that make sense, y'all? I really hope that makes sense. This is the tactic. This is the tactic that the enemy is using. And there's two ways that you can go about this. You separate yourself from the conflict that is bringing you down. Okay? Or you fight the battle, you join forces with them and you fight it with them to clear it out so that the both of you can get peace. But for most of you, it's a situation where you're like, no, Dream, I want to move. Like, I want to move away from this conflict. But I'm restricted. I'm bound in some way, shape, or form. People can be bound in different ways, right? It could be that you're lacking the tools and resources to leave, right? So all you can do is just kind of sit there, but you don't have to just sit there. You can sit there and pray. You can sit there and fast. You can sit there and do some research, look into different things that you can do to get assistance so that you will be able to separate yourself. You don't ever sit there in defeat. Because even when it feels like there is no way, God will make a way. He is the way maker. He will make a way out of no way. He will make the impossible possible. I've seen it with my own two eyes. I've experienced it before. Don't just sit there. And if it's a situation where it's out of your hands, it's out of your control, there's no actions that you can take against it, you need to take spiritual action. You need to pray. The power of prayer is more than we know. You need to pray. Okay? That is the solution when you feel like there is no solution. You have to handle some of these things spiritually through prayer. I'm talking intense prayer. If you have to do old-fashioned prayer where you get down on your knees and you plead and you beg God, you do it. If you have to incort fasting, if your health and diet allows it, you do it. But don't just sit there. Do research. Look into some things and see what you can do to, help yourself. Don't sit there being helpless. Um, what else was I going to say? These are tactics. These are the tactics. The devil has partnered you up with a false person, place, or thing. And the drama and chaos that's connected to this false person, place, or thing, it is causing you drama and chaos. It is causing you turmoil. It is putting you in an unsafe, unstable, unsecured surrounding. And these blessings cannot come in if you haven't created a safe space for it. Wow. I see this so clearly, you guys. I see it so clearly. And I hope you do too. It's a spiritual warfare. It's more spiritual than it is physical. The devil not wanting you to receive your blessings. And so he's going to cause a lot of shakeups and turmoil in your surroundings so that the blessing can't come in. It's causing delays, it's causing blockages for many of you. These are war tactics. When people say that, okay, you're a warrior of God, you're a soldier, you're on the battleground, you're on the battleground. You are in the midst of spiritual warfare. And even the devil is using tactics. The devil's using war tactics. He can't get to you directly, so he's using the people around you. These are tactics. These are war tactics that even people, like even soldiers in real life, they use it. When soldiers can't get, it's almost like in the army or something. When soldiers can't get their target, they'll go through someone close to their target to get their target. My God. This is spiritual warfare. This is spiritual warfare. This is a battleground. And then there's some of you who are so used to facing battles that you you've made a home on the battleground. That's not wise. That's not wise to make a home on the battleground. You'll never sleep. You'll never get rest. You will be attacked 24/7. You don't want to live on the battleground. Even soldiers don't live on the battleground. They go to the battleground to fight, and then after the battle is over, right, they go back to their station that is far away. Their station is far away from the battleground. There's someone who has chosen a home in an area where there is nothing but spiritual warfare there, which is why it's hard for you to lay your head down at night. You want your home to be far from the battlefield so that you can go to work on the battlefield, and then when the battle's over, you can go back home. You don't want to make a home on the battlefield. That's not wise at all. Wow. I'm making sure that I got all the message out. So bear with me if I take a pause. Just so much conflict and chaos around you. That's the language of the devil, by the way. Conflict and confusion. Anytime you see conflict and confusion, just know that the devil is present. That's his language. Just know, if there's conflict and confusion, just know the devil's there. And he's stirring up a lot of conflict and confusion around you to cause delays, to cause blockages and obstacles. I did a reading today. It was a love reading where it was someone getting attacked, not because of something that they have done, but because of who they're connected to. The person who they're connected to comes with a lot of drama. The person who they're connected to has adversaries who are now targeting them. Go and watch it if you haven't already. It premiered today. Some of you are being targeted. You're noticing suspicious things happening around you, but you can't pinpoint what it is or why it's happening, because for all you know, you haven't wronged anyone. You haven't done anything wrong. What you don't realize is you're not being targeted because of something you've done. You're being targeted because of who you're connected to. There is conflict and chaos in the midst. And so until this conflict can cease, it's going to be very hard for anything new to enter your life, because if it does, it will be at risk of being destroyed by the conflict and confusion, the conflict and chaos. That is how the devil's causing blockages in your life. Because certain blessings cannot come into our lives until we create a safe space. And you don't want the blessing to be delivered while you're on the battleground. No way, you don't. Because what if it gets destroyed, right? It's almost like, imagine you're fighting a war and then someone tries to deliver something valuable to you. You'll be afraid of it being destroyed. And so we have to pray. Prayer is the only solution. We have to pray so that the Lord will step in on your behalf and rescue you, remove you from this turmoil. Or the Lord will give you the power and strength to fight this battle and win it. You either separate from it or you fight against it to destroy it. This is spiritual warfare, the tactics, everything. It's like a war movie. It really is. It's like a war movie. The devil's using war tactics, strategic tactics. The devil doesn't have power, but one thing he loves to do is he likes to have influence over people. That's how he gets his power, by influencing you, by influencing those around you, by influencing your environment, your surroundings, by influencing the people, places, and things connected to you. The spiritual battle has intensified, which means your prayer has to be intense. The spiritual war has intensified, which means your prayer life has to intensify as well. Okay? And if you are in a situation where you can't get out, you feel like you can't get out, there's restrictions, you feel bound, you feel limited, you're always welcome to connect with me. You're always welcome to submit a prayer request. I had so many people join the intercessory prayer list for the month of March. Many of you who joined it for the month of March, you guys were facing limitations due to contracts. And I can faithfully and proudly say that by April 1st, all of those contracts were broken. I didn't expect for the Lord to step in and work on y'all's behalf so quickly. all of the individuals who participated in the breaking of contracts, demonic contracts that keep you captive. All of you guys who joined it in the month of March, y'all's contracts have been broken. I kept on getting news about it towards the end of March. I would get emails, text messages from you guys saying, Dream, the contract was broken. Dream, so and so agreed to terminating the contract. Dream, I got a mutual release. I can go now. And it shook me up. It shook me up because I was like, wait a second, all of this is happening during the last week of March, almost into Easter, the day of resurrection. You see, the devil thought that he could bury you, that he could dig a grave and bury you in it. But the Lord stepped in and removed you from that hole that the enemy dug for you. You resurrected because your Lord and Savior resurrected. Death did not find you. Endings did not find you, because even the Lord and Savior defeated death and resurrected on the third day. I was shocked, you guys. I opened the list up specifically for people who are in contract binding situations. And by the end of March, their contracts were broken right before April 1st, right before Easter. And I said, there's no way that that is a coincidence. It's a big sign that even to this day, the Lord is with his people. Very powerful. I want you guys to pray. Sometimes all you can do is pray. You don't have to sit there in defeat. You don't have to allow the enemy to win. The truth is, the devil wants you stuck. The devil wants you stuck because he's intimidated by your progression. He's intimidated by your spiritual growth. He's intimidated and threatened by your forward movement. So he wants you to get caught up on that battleground and to stay stuck in it. The devil, some of you, the devil wants you stuck in battles, constant battles. He wants you stuck in constant battles because it's delaying you. And for many of you, it's destroying you gradually. Living your life on the battlefield it's not a way to live life. I know that many of us are warriors and children of God, but even God wants us to enjoy our life, enjoy the world, not be on the battleground constantly. He wants you stuck in battles so that you don't move forward. So those of you who are warriors, you carry the spirit of a warrior, you carry the spirit of the lion, please be wise, because not every battle is your battle to fight. Sometimes instead of you staying on that battleground to fight the battle, to fight the war, instead of you doing that, just choose to go, just leave. Not every battle is yours to fight, because the devil could very much be using battles after battles to wear you out and to kill you, to destroy you. You want to be a purposeful warrior. Right? Where if there is a battle that you are being called to fight, you want it to have a purpose. You want to be fighting battles for a purpose, not just because you're going to you're going to wear yourself out. These battles will ultimately distract you and delay you. There are certain battles that are just useless and unnecessary. There's certain battles that are unnecessary where people just do stupid things. And you got to be careful when it comes to who you're going to be playing hero for. You want to be a purposeful warrior. Wow. I believe that's all. I believe that's all the message that I have. For those of you who are in contract binding situations, or just any sort of restrictive or restricting situations where you want to remove yourself out of the conflict, but something's keeping you bound there, I welcome you to submit a prayer request. And for those of you who are interested, I welcome you to join the intercessory prayer list as well. Take care, my beautiful people, and many blessings to you. I'll put all the info in the description box. God bless you.